Management responsibility.
Some parts of game server hosting are your responsibility and some parts are provided by AWS. It's important to understand which parts belong to you so that you can determine how much effort will be involved to employ a solution. One way to grasp this distinction is through the GameTAC layers model.
What are you going to code? Do you need these services in your game server hosting solution? If so, do you already have code to make them work? Are you planning to write these functions, or are you planning on a cloud-based service to provide them? Looking at common responsibilities at each layer in more detail will help you answer these questions. Infrastructure management requisitions compute resources when needed and returns them when they're no longer in use. Development tasks include determining the instance types, sizes, locations, and quantities, and making the system run at scale. Doing this from scratch can be challenging. Spot instances offer cost optimization. They seem unusable for this particular use case, but if properly managed, the level of availability can meet the requirements of your game. Managed services do this for you. Do you have code for these methods already? Were you planning to develop them, or are you planning for them to be provided by a cloud-based service? Session management is loading game server software on instances and running one or more game sessions. This involves the life cycle of a session, from starting a session to shutting it down or recycling it when a game has ended. It may involve notifying other parts of the game that initialization within the game session is complete and that the game is ready to receive players, including the number of available player slots for a multiplayer game. In a multiplayer game, if a player drops, are they replaced with a new player? What session management methods does your game require? Game session placement is selecting an available game server and connecting a player to the game. Have you considered what geographic regions will be hosting the game? How can you balance game availability, low latency, and cost efficiency? As the time changes, do you need to shift hosting from one location to another to maintain the quality of gameplay for new players? Matchmaking is accumulating individual requests and determining how to group players together to meet gameplay and latency requirements based on available game server resources. Does your game require matchmaking? Have you outlined specifics such as the number of simultaneous players, how they form teams, and if there are any special requirements for players on specific teams? Again, you may have your own matchmaking software already built, or you may be planning to use the help of a service. This kind of information will influence your choice of game server hosting solution. Core game services, such as a database, are part of most games. You could use a database service like Amazon Aurora or Amazon DynamoDB. The other AWS services you use will determine connectivity requirements between the game server and the AWS core services. This could influence your choice of game server hosting solution. Not all games are designed the same. Different games have different technical requirements. You can make different technology choices depending on your game and business requirements.